Department to investigate the death of a Mississippi man run over by a local police car. His family saying they were kept in the dark for months about his whereabouts while they thought he was only missing. His family says a federal investigation is needed now more than ever after his body was exhumed from a pauper's field this morning at the request of the family, but hours before they were told it would happen, meaning no one but the public works crews were there to witness this. Dexter's mother voicing her frustration earlier today. Listen.
Now y'all done buried my baby. Y'all done took him out the ground. Y'all put him in the ground without my permission. So I don't have no permission.
Now, we've been covering this story on this program since NBC News reporter John Shupe broke it last month. Dexter Wade was last seen alive by his mother in March as he walked out of the home they shared. He was killed minutes after that as he tried to cross a nearby freeway on foot. Dexter's mother, though, would spend the next 172 days totally in the dark until police realized they had made, they say, a clerical error in not informing the family.
Yeah, I said it because at this point, Jackson PD, they are a bunch of pathological liars. Now what? It is what it is. If the shoe fits, wear it.
Covering the story for us tonight, Blaine, talk to us a little bit more about what was supposed to happen with Dexter's body today and then what the family actually experienced instead.
Well, Aaron, as you can understand, there is a lot of frustration, a lot of anger from that family tonight, and many would say rightfully so. So what was supposed to happen, and this is according to my colleague John Shupe, who, as you mentioned, broke this story. He was actually there in Jackson covering everything that's happened. Everything was set for 11:30 in the morning. That was the understanding. But he said that when crowds started to arrive there, everything had already happened.
So let me get this straight. Jackson PD made arrangements with Betterstein and the other people that were supposed to be in attendance to exhume the body. Arrangements was made to meet up at 11 o'clock so everyone could be present. But you guys went a whole 3 hours earlier? What happened to protocol? When exhuming the body, the police officer is supposed to be there, the coroner is supposed to be there, whatever funeral home that's going to be taken over the remains supposed to be there, and the family. You made arrangements with Betterstein, and you guys went a whole 3 hours ahead of time. And if anybody else could sit back and act like nothing is going on, y'all crazy.
So not only was Dexter Wade's mother caught off guard, but the family members, they even had a minister show up there. All of them were completely blindsided by the fact that the exhumption had already taken place. Now, I understand that all that Dexter's mother, Betterstein Wade, was able to actually witness was the transfer of his remains from basically the back of the coroner's vehicle into the hearse. So you can understand why the family says that trust is even further broken here. Here's what attorney Ben Crump, who represents that family, had to say today. Take a look.
Imagine if this was your loved one who they killed and then buried without your permission and then exhumed them after they told you they were going to respect you this time. Would you trust anybody in Mississippi now?
And so there you have him voicing the frustrations on behalf of the family. And of course, Aaron, they said that they wanted to exhume him to have their own private autopsy and then to have a proper burial and a funeral for him as well. Aaron.
Yeah, he deserves that for sure, Blaine. I do want to ask you, too. I mean, you have obviously Attorney Crump there. You have Dexter's family all saying they want to see the DOJ step in here and look into what happened. What might that look like? And has the Department of Justice indicated that this is something that it would look into?
Well, the investigation would come from the Civil Rights Division of the DOJ. That's who they're asking to come in and really just kind of do a thorough review of this entire situation from beginning to end and take a close look at the Jackson Police Department. I've been speaking with a colleague of Ben Crump's today, and he told me that that request has actually formally been made by other people who are affiliated with this case as well. He said that that request has been out there for the past week or so. So now the question is, of course, will the DOJ take this up? How long will that investigation last if it is in fact launched? And of course, what sort of information will it yield? But you can certainly understand why what happened today is further fueling those calls for the DOJ to come in and investigate. That's what we heard from Dexter Wade's mother, his family members, Ben Crump. All of them are saying this is yet another reason why they need some outside eyes to come in. Aaron.
All right, Blaine Alexander with us tonight.
So there's been a lot going on with this case with Dexter Wade, and it's very troubling and depressing when you really think about it, because as a mother, I don't know how Miss Betterstein has the strength to carry on, but she does. And I know that it takes a woman with great strength to endure that. And I know God is on the forefront. But as a mother, I have one son. And Lord, it would devastate me if anything like that happened to my child. And Miss Betterstein, Dexter was her only son. Dexter was not a troublemaker. He was none of the sort. So the way that this happened is still so unsettling to me, because why is this still going on in our world? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you guys, we're supposed to be united. Like, come on now. That black and white issues, man, let me tell you, I don't give a fuck what color you are. If I rock with you, I'll rock with you. Right is right. And I'm sorry for the vulgarity, but I'm so upset right now because the way that this woman is being treated, that's her son. Y'all took her son away from her, and y'all didn't even have the audacity to notify her. This woman continued to hound y'all. Y'all knew Dexter was her child. When this boy was hit, murdered, there was a big scene on site. When he made it to the coroner's office, the coroner identified him immediately. This man had his identification and his medication in his pocket. So when the coroner released the body, he told them, okay, this is the next of kin, contact the mother. And the coroner left it at that. Now, I've read some different reports, and the coroner also said that he did reach out like over 7 times to see if they reached out to the family. Each time, it went unanswered. So, as for the mayor to say that it's an accident with no malicious intent, this is an accident with no malicious intent. To bury this woman's child knowing that she was looking for him the entire time. Miss Betterstein even gave them photos of her son and begged these people to air it on the news so it can get some traction, because she didn't initially think her son was dead. She just thought he was missing. Now, as I previously mentioned before, Miss Betterstein did not think that Dexter was dead. She didn't really suspect foul play. Now, I'm not sure if Dexter has ever went off the radar before, and if he did, rightfully so, because he is 37 years old. He's a grown man. But she didn't initially think that her son was dead. She just thought he was missing. And while doing more research on the story, I found a Facebook post by Miss Betterstein Wade, and it reads, Dexter, if you don't come home or call for me, have a heart for your grandmother. She is hurt and worried about you. She is too old to be worried, baby. Call, please. If anybody know where he is, please call me. He's been missing for 5 months. And this post breaks my heart because, as I mentioned, she gave the police officers pictures of Dexter and everything. And not one time did they air anything on the news to gain traction on the story. It's just heartbreaking. But for that to even go unnoticed, there was not a news broadcast or anything. And the fact that she had to actually pay y'all to get her son's remains back baffles me. And to add insult to injury, after all this is done, an agreement was made to dig up the remains so the family can take over the body. It was set to be done at 11 o'clock a.m. So I'm not understanding why it was cool for Jackson Police Department to go out there at 8 before the family was there. They went totally against protocol. And it's like it's continuing to happen as if these people don't mean nothing. And I just don't understand. This is wrong on so many levels. And I don't understand why more people are not talking about this. Because I promise you, had it would have been your child or a family member, you would have felt differently. And you would have understood the frustration and the pain that this mother's coming from. But all this goes to show me at the end of the day, race is still an issue, and it's probably going to always be an issue. And I can promise you, something was done to him because it's a cover-up. What are you trying to hide? That's my question, Jackson Police Department. Please tell me, what are you guys trying to hide? Because we're not falling for it. And the fact that you guys continue to play with our intelligence, it baffles me.
Of Dexter Wade is calling for justice after the 37-year-old man was allegedly fatally struck by a Jackson, Mississippi Police Department cruiser back in March and later buried in a potter's field without his family's knowledge. Betterstein Wade Robinson reported her son missing on March 14th, 9 days after she had last heard from him. She didn't learn until August 24th, more than 5 months after his death, that Dexter Wade had been struck and killed as he was walking across a local highway. His body remained in a morgue for months before being discharged and buried in a potter's field. And joining us now is Miss Wade Robinson and her attorney, Benjamin Crump. Miss Robinson, first of all, I thank you so much for joining us. Cannot imagine what you've been dealing with regard to losing your son and then this alleged cover-up that's happened. Just walk us through what you last spoke to your son at some point in March. You filed this missing police report in March. And then in August, who reaches out to you and what do they say?
Well, when they reached out to me in August, they came, they say, we found your son. The detective said, we found your son. So I said, okay. I said, where he at? What happened to him? She said, well, I'll send a detective over there and he'll talk to you and tell you what happened. So I waited till he came, and he said, I'm sorry about your loss or your death. And I said, I threw my head down. Then my mama said, what happened to him? He said, a police cruiser hit him on the highway when he was trying to cross the freeway, when he was trying to cross the freeway.
I also have another question. Why is it that the alleged police officer that was involved in this accident that took the life of Dexter Wade, why is his identity being kept a secret? I'm not saying we need to know his mama name, his daddy name, his social security number, his date of birth, or none of that. I'm just saying, why is his identity being withheld? Now, they did say that he was off duty in a police cruiser, which I get it. I know a lot of police officers who actually use their, the cruisers as their mode of transportation. I get that. But I'm just saying, I'm not understanding why the identity of this police officer is being kept from us. Like, what's really going on?
And have you gotten your son's remains back? What did they apologize? I'm kind of perplexed, really, by the story.
Okay, well, at first I had to try to find him. So it took me about another month and a half to find him in order to find out where he was located at. So I finally found out where he was located, and I think I went out there around the 1st of October, and he was buried down there at Raymond, behind the Raymond Detention Center in a potty field.
Mr. Crump, you cover so many cases of suspected police misconduct and police brutality. Have you ever heard of something like this?
It is shocking, Lindsay, the fact that they knew who Miss Bettison was. She filed a missing persons report. All they had to do was look at their own accident report. His name was on the accident report, and they knew where he lived at because he had medication in his pocket that had his doctor, and the doctor told them that Miss Bettison was his next of kin.
I mean, at this rate, you guys, come on now. Make it make sense. What's really, really going on? Because there is a cover up. But what is it that they're hiding? Like, it just does not add up.
Miss Wade Robinson, how are you feeling about all this? I'm curious just what justice would even begin to look like for you.
To me, right now, I'm hoping I can get to some kind of answer to why it happened and what was the reason that it happened. But right now, I'm still not satisfied with everything that happened. To me, it's just steady cover up. It's just steady a cover. Every time you move, it's steady a cover up. Nobody never willing to take the responsibility of what happened. It's always misinformation or it's a mistake. And how many misinformation that you can have or how many mistakes you can have before you take responsibility of what happened. You know, it's some kind of accountability need to be taken.
Lastly, what do you want the world to know about your son?
I just want to know he was a loving person, and he did not deserve this kind of treatment. He was really a kind-hearted person. I mean, he wasn't nobody that really did anything to nobody. I mean, Dexter always gave everybody everything he had. I used to fuss at him all the time. You need to keep something for yourself. But, he just had that he helped people. He loved to help people. And he always wanted to do something in life to help.
Well, Ms. Robinson, we thank you so much for talking with us tonight, as well as Benjamin Crump. Appreciate you both joining us.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Now, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, Betterstein and her family has dealt with the Jackson Police Department before in a similar situation. Back in 2019, Betterstein's brother was sitting in his vehicle when 3 Jackson Police Department officers approached him. They asked him to get out of his car, but as he was getting out of his car, he was moving really slow. The officers were impatient, so they basically jacked him out of his car, resulting in him falling and hitting his head. The 3 officers began to kick him because they thought he was being non-compliant, only to find out that he was a victim of a stroke and he wasn't able to move, one side of his body. And so they thought he was being, resisting whatever they were telling him to do, when in all actuality, this man had a stroke and he wasn't able to move fast. So this happened in 2019. In 2021, they dismissed the second-degree murder charges, and the 3 police officers were set free. So if you guys really think about it, come on now. This woman has endured the same issue with her brother, and now it's her son. So they know who she is. They know who her family is. So the whole act of them saying, oh, well, we didn't know who the family was, and we just, buried him because we didn't have identification, that's lies. Because the police department is very well aware of Betterstein and her whole entire family because of the issue with her brother. So if you guys can't put two and two together, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But I believe that is why the Jackson Police Department, why they're so mean to this family, because of this prior issue. If you guys have made it to the end of my video, you guys are amazing. And I just want to let you all know that I appreciate the love and support. So please keep it coming. Now, I know this is a touchy subject, you guys, but I really want to know what your thoughts and opinions are. So sound off in the comments. Just remember, everyone is entitled to their own thoughts and opinions. It's okay to agree to disagree, but just keep it cute. Don't be disrespectful to each other. Allow everyone to get their own thoughts out respectfully. So sound off in the comments. And until next time, you guys, take care and be safe out there. Peace.